We just saw how equity can be assessed in terms of inputs. Okay, and that's amount of money and financial aid that they receive. Equity can also be assessed in terms of outputs or outcomes. Do all students finish their schooling with sufficient skills and a fair opportunity to progress in life? That is not saying that all students leaving school need to become doctors, engineers, computer specialists, and so on and so forth. Are they leaving school so that they have the skills to be successful, to be productive, contributing citizens of a country? And in our case, it has to be for Pakistan. And if our students are leaving schools with that, then yes, equity has been achieved. The teacher and the school system provided appropriately what different students needed so that each child is termed successful in his or her own sphere of existence and work. In the home, in the community, in the society, the child is seen as being successful. That's the key. Those who challenge privatization argue that it will produce greater social inequities, although, to repeat what was said previously, this depends on how the reform is implemented. So many people do not favor privatization because they say, as long as private schools flourish, social inequities will continue because of the better quality education, the better teachers, the higher cost, unlike the ones in the government sector. And when you provide the different foundations, the different backgrounds of education to these two vast groups of students, equity cannot exist. I think more funding needs to be diverted and directed towards the government schools so that they can rise up and come up at some level, at some parity with the private schools. But to do that, the government will have to change its expenditure, will have to change its mode of spending on different other areas instead of education. So the government will need to step in and show that yes, we are serious, we want equity in education, we want the government students also to get good quality education, and we are willing to put in. And as I said earlier, the Punjab and KPK are well on their way. They are trying. We can see changes over there. Sindh and Balochistan and Gilgit-Baltistan still have a long way to go. But I think if Punjab and KPK were to share their successes with the other provinces, I think this could be a possibility. We learn from one another. We don't have to reinvent the wheel in each province to make education worthwhile. We can learn from the success stories of different provinces and put them in action and in practice in our own respective province. So, this is critical if we want equity in and among our government and private sector schools. Social cohesion is another one. Schools should promote the social good. This is the main reason why they are publicly funded. What constitutes the social good will vary from one society to another. If we want society to come together, if we want cohesion, if we want different elements of the society to hold together for the social good, because if we don't hold together, we will always be arguing and fighting and critiquing one another. But that's the reason why the government funds schools. Because it hopes that through this education, the cohesion will happen. But what is social good? What an electrician or a carpenter sees as social good is not how a doctor or an engineer sees social good, is not how a gardener or a chowkidar sees social good. So what is social good? How do you bring social good at the same level for everyone to understand? And the social good really is, no matter what level of economic or social strata you are, social good means, are you moving up the social ladder? So you were at this level as the parent, your child now is here, that's social good. Are you moving up? If your child remains at that level or actually goes down, that is not social good. So, social good is a relative term. It will be defined and identified differently by different people. But in the long term, generally speaking, it is moving up the career ladder.